There's a story unfolding right now that seriously sounds like it was ripped from a sci-fi movie. It involves some of our nation's brightest minds. But here's the thing. This isn't fiction. This is a very real mystery, and it's gotten so serious that it has now captured the attention of the highest levels of the U.S. government. It all boils down to this one number, 11. That's how many top-tier scientists, all working in incredibly sensitive fields, have either vanished or died under mysterious circumstances just since 2022. Now, this isn't just a random string of tragedies. It's a pattern so alarming that it's actually triggered a formal investigation right in Washington. And look, this isn't some fringe theory cooked up on the internet. We're talking about the U.S. House Oversight Committee, one of the most powerful investigative bodies in Congress, officially launching an inquiry. They are demanding answers because the stakes here, well, they involve nothing less than our national security. This quote from the committee chairman, James Comer, really tells you everything you need to know about how seriously they're taking this. They're trying to connect dots that, for whatever reason, local law enforcement hasn't officially linked. So you have to wonder, what are they seeing that has them so concerned? Okay, so this is where we get to the real heart of the mystery. It's not just that 11 scientists are gone, it's the strange, unsettling pattern that connects them. It's a pattern that investigators are now scrambling to make sense of. And I want you to really get this. These aren't some decades-old cold cases we're talking about. This timeline shows a very recent and very much ongoing crisis. These events are all clustered in a super short period of time, and they've escalated from just a series of incidents to a full-blown congressional probe. And when you start to look closer, you see these common threads that are just impossible to ignore. These weren't just any scientists. They were experts in things like aerospace, nuclear physics, all with top-secret clearances. And so many of them vanished under really bizarre circumstances, leaving behind their phones, their wallets, their keys. I mean, these are the little details that start to separate these cases from just random tragic events. To really get how serious this is, we have to move past the numbers and actually look at the people involved. These were brilliant individuals, people on the absolute forefront of American innovation and defense. So let's take the case of Monica Reza. She's an aerospace metallurgist with connections to NASA, and she was out hiking with friends. She literally waves to them, continues up the trail, and is never seen again. No body, no trace. Just gone. How does somebody just disappear in plain sight like that? And then you have Major General William McCasland. This guy was the former commander of the Air Force Research Laboratory. He oversaw cutting-edge aerospace R&D. Before he disappeared from his home, he reportedly complained about having brain fog, and then he just vanished, leaving everything, phone, wallet, all of it, behind. A top-ranking general with all that knowledge in his head is simply gone. And this is where the story takes a really dark turn. This quote is about another scientist, Amy Eskridge. Before she died, she told people she was being targeted, and her claims, they kind of build a bridge between the known facts of these cases and some of the really explosive theories about what could be going on. So naturally, that brings us to the theories. And let me tell you, as investigators are out there searching for conventional answers, a number of unconventional and frankly shocking possibilities have started to surface. And they come directly from the kind of work these victims were doing and what they themselves were apparently afraid of. The first big question, and maybe the most grounded theory here, is straight-up espionage. I mean, is it possible that another country, desperate to get our technological edge, is systematically abducting America's top scientific minds? When you think about the fields these scientists worked in, it's a pretty terrifyingly plausible scenario. Remember Amy Eskridge? Well, this goes back to her claim that she was being attacked with something called a directed energy weapon, or a DEW. These are not science fiction anymore. Countries like Russia and China have openly acknowledged they're developing weapons that use things like microwaves or lasers to disable a target silently, invisibly, even through walls. The idea that a weapon like that could be used on U.S. soil is, well, it's deeply disturbing. And why did Eskridge think she was being targeted? Because of her research into this, anti-gravity propulsion. I mean, this is the kind of game-changing technology that would rewrite everything we know about travel, about defense. It's also exactly the kind of secret that, if it were real, someone might go to extreme lengths to protect or to steal. Okay, but before we all go too far down that rabbit hole, it's absolutely crucial we hit pause and apply a reality check. With a story this wild, you have to ask the big question. Is this a genuine conspiracy, or could it just be a tragic but massive coincidence? Let's take a minute to explore the other side of this.
To get what the skeptics are saying, think about this for a second. In the summertime, both shark attacks and ice cream sales go way up. So, does that mean buying ice cream causes shark attacks?
Of course not, right? The real connection is a third thing: the sun. More sun means more people flock to the beach, which means more people are buying ice cream, and tragically, more people are having encounters with sharks. The whole point is that just because two things happen together doesn't mean one caused the other. So let's apply that logic here. What's the real case for this all being a massive coincidence? Well, skeptics will point out that these scientists worked in different places. Law enforcement hasn't found any concrete link. And we have to consider that these high-stress, top-secret jobs can take a huge mental toll. So it's totally possible that we're just looking at a collection of unrelated tragedies. Accidents, crimes, personal crises. And our brains are just wired to see a pattern that isn't really there. So what are we left with? We've got two completely different stories fighting for our attention. On one side, you have the logical, skeptical view that this is all a terrible coincidence. And on the other, you have a series of deeply troubling facts that are just really hard to ignore. The tension between those two is exactly why this mystery isn't going away. And that's the thing, right? For every single skeptical point, there's a nagging detail that just pulls you right back in. Okay, there's no official link, but why 11 top experts in such a short window of time? They could be random events, but then why did so many leave their phones and wallets behind? This is the exact puzzle that Congress is now trying to piece together. At the end of the day, even if there is a tiny chance this is all just a coincidence, the combination of these things, the victims' incredibly sensitive work, the bizarre circumstances of their disappearances, and the huge national security implications, it just makes it impossible to dismiss. The risk of not investigating is just way too high. And that's where we are now. The investigation is really just getting started, and it leaves us all with a pretty chilling thought. In a world full of classified research and hidden technologies, where that line between science fiction and reality seems to be getting blurrier every day, what happens when the people who know the secrets start to disappear?